What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and back to the highways of Japan for more Tokyo Xtreme Racer 3. This time we're going to be moving over to Osaka and finishing out the Junior League, hopefully, and moving on to the meat and potatoes of the game when you move around. So let's go ahead and jump on over and let the festivities begin. Oh, I'm pretty sure no loser is a bunch of losers once they finally run into Silent Eagle. So, yeah, we're back at the start of another city, and that means that we're going to clear out these guys really quickly again. So let's go ahead and take down Keyboard Technician. He's driving for some goofy team that programs Windows. Or at least that's what I'm just going to say, because, yeah, pretty much. Osaka has really goofy music as well. Really the only city that has good music is Tokyo, which you can switch them around, but it gives it a little bit more personality, even though hearing this goofy-ass music is definitely goofy. Who's going crazy with the whammy pedal? Come on now. But at least this time we got good weather. We're not racing in the rain. And holy buckets, that isn't supposed to happen. Anyways, on to the next guy. Alright. We're going to be racing Mirage Lady from Team First Lady. Otherwise known as, you're going to finish second in a two-car race. Not first. Sorry. Sorry. Ain't my fault you drive so slow. Fortunately, Osaka is a little bit more, well, shoot, I shouldn't have taken that turn. But Osaka is a little bit more interesting to drive than Nagoya. Nagoya is definitely the most boring of the bunch. Osaka is pretty plain as well here in the beginning, because it is a lot of just kind of right angle corners and off ramps. Probably should have upshifted there, but hey, that's minor technicalities, right? So I'll go ahead and flip a Yui here, drive backwards on the highway, catch up to that other guy, and the emulator's going all goofy, but that doesn't matter. Anyways, we join you guys when we go race the next guy here. Okay. I guess. My car has magically been turned around 180 degrees. Yeah, it's a good race this person anyway, so works for me. But, defying the laws of physics right there. Miss no brake, more like miss no engine. Am I right? Am I right, guys? Really? I can't remember what this team's shtick is. I'm guessing they're probably all women again. Kind of like that one team in Nagoya. At least I think it is Nagoya. Can't remember the name. Can't remember the name. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I played this game. You know, because it's very easy to just go ahead and make several episodes all at one time for this. So don't gotta keep playing it constantly. On to the next guy here. Looks like we got our FTO here, software poor. He's deprived of his software. He needs more software to be software rich, I guess. Well, I will say this music is very uppity and very happy. Like, I mean, you can't help but like bob your head, you know? Just like, yay! Freaking Japan. Freaking weird music. Bunch of weirdos. And of course, the guy takes the other direction just to make my life more miserable. Because he's like, oh no, Silent Eagle's coming! Run away, run away. So I'm gonna hop into this pit area here and perfect entry. So we'll just go ahead and pop in, pop back out, get a reroll of opponents, and hopefully get something a little bit more favorable. There we go. So let's go ahead and smoke this guy. Interface revolver. I know what you're thinking in all this programming. Did I use 5 ampersands or 6? To tell you the truth, I kind of forgot myself. So you have to ask yourself, are you feeling lucky, punk? No? I thought it was funny. Actually, it's probably funnier before I made the joke unfunny by trying too hard. I apologize. I'm sure half the viewers out there are like, I don't even understand what you're talking about. Right is the off-ramp. That's one thing with this section of highway. The little cut-between areas always confuse the snot on me. And you always get opponents that, like, cut across. Some of them do, some of them don't. But it's not a different area. It's all the same area of the highway. So kind of how, like, probably at Tokyo, seeing how the other cities don't have a different section at this point. You have certain opponents that race in certain sections. As here you kind of have the same thing, but you have the little in-between divider sections, and some teams seem to run, you know, I guess, for lack of a better term, the north side. Some of them run the south side. And yeah, thanks for starting me behind this guy that I just beat like a frickin' rented mule. Yeah, no, thanks, game. Zero challenge here as well. And I did actually look up the requirements for the Wanderer that's here in Osaka that has the Di Tommaso Pantera, which is kind of on my short list of cars that I may purchase for future use in this game. And you have to race on a Saturday or a Sunday and beat a couple opponents before he comes out. And right now, in-game, it is a Tuesday. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm pretty sure it's in-game days, not actual game time or system clock time. But if it's one of those things where it is an actual in-game day thing, which no, a system clock thing, then we'll obviously go ahead and cheese that up by switching the system time. Which some of the Wanderers in this game, which those are the opponents that have the goofy requirements and specialty things, basically, pay more money, more challenge. They have certain requirements, and oftentimes you have to race at a certain time for the net or the system time, the game console time. Which, you know, if you're playing this on the actual PS2, I'm using an emulator, obviously, but on an actual PS2, you'd have to go into the menus and change the system time to use that to your advantage. Otherwise, you'd have to wake up in the middle of the night and play some Tokyo Xtreme Racer at like 3 in the morning to race certain opponents, which just seems ridiculous. Although it is kind of a cool little requirement, but I don't see how anybody ever played this game without just using the system clock change, you know, which kind of is a little bit cheesy. I mean, like, it is kind of like a cheat, but like, who cares? You know, you're not affecting anyone. And in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of silly, anyways, to have an opponent that you have to race at like 3 in the morning or whatever. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and catch up to that blue arrow here. Although the tires are starting to get a little bit worn, temperatures are still fine. But rejoin you when we get up to that guy. Okay, apparently it didn't work this time around to just drive right at the opponent and just magically flip around 180 degrees in the middle of the highway. So let's go ahead and find a gear here and catch back up. Turning around in this game is like borderline impossible. The physics that they have in this game, like in terms of wheel spin and whatever, it just doesn't. It doesn't work. They didn't intend for you quite clearly to flip 180 degree turns just by, you know, revving up the engine and, you know, shifting into gear to spin the tires. They definitely did not plan for that. But here's another member of Team First Lady. Wrong button. Once again, we'll pose absolutely a 0 challenge. Can we just race no loser yet? I don't know how many members they have on their team, but they're gonna be like 6 losers. So let's just go ahead and get this over and done with, please. I love that little section there. And yellow bus guy was really pushing it to the limit there. He was all over the place. He's like, highway battle! So I'm gonna just call it a day because I'm too lazy to drive back to the pit area. We're still Silent Eagle. Fortunately, they haven't changed my name. Thank you much. Let's go ahead and check out the team profiles. Team Nippon Bashi. They are a gathering of owners of famous personal computer shops and home appliance stores in the Nihon Bashi area. Wow, that is a struggle. That doesn't even seem that difficult to pronounce either. They are always pursuing software setting potentials, and they have thoroughly scrutinized electronic control software such as power ratio and fuel mixture ratio. English. Do you speak it? Apparently, the sum total of money thrown into their machines exceeds $1 million. Okay, I guess. VIP Project, the team whose members own VIP cars with the 3 elements: hard, heavy, strong. With a glamorous racing style, they rage the length and breadth of the Osaka Kanju. The members are intoxicated with the sensation of driving around in their machines with such overwhelming power, but some are worried about the Katsufuji, who is ambivalent about body rigidity and body weight. How dare that guy care about a car's weight? Who does he think he is? Colin Chapman? Really? What an a-hole. Drifters! They are usually enjoying drifting around the Rocco area, operating their long-time owned machines as if they were their own hands and feet. Okay. They appear in the Kanjusen from around nighttime to dawn at a time when there are few cars, trying out their skilled drift techniques and battles. Their polished drift technique fascinate their opponents. Which group of these teams doesn't race in middle of the night? Really. First Lady, a team centering around a Shia-born who bought an MR car with her parents' money. Her racing is rough. Her affluence is used more towards dress-up than tune-up. At present, her winning ratio is high because of her self-centered racing style arising from the basic performance of her machine and her total disregard for other cars. None of that sounds true. Birikin Club, a group that praises the god Birikin, who declares good fortune will come your way if you rub the soles of your feet. Just a second here, let me rub up. Yep, okay. They tried to recreate the success story of Birikin, who at one time lost, but then revisited to become an idol in Osaka. Before going to the Kanjusen, one and all worship Birikin first and claim that this ritual has kept members accident-free. Okay. Tentaku. Two Tentaku. Yeah, something like that. A team well known in Osaka, the team name embodies Osaka's Gloria, the Sutsunkaku. During the day, they are inconspicuous, but at night they adorn their cars with electric parts, as if to portray the Setsunkaku bathed in neon lights. They often encounter Barracan Club around Setsunkaku, and apparently they have a racing get-together a few times a year. Unfortunately, this game is like before like the Prius, so their cars aren't literally electric, you know, or hybrid, obviously, yeah. Then, of course, we have no loser, they're the boss team. A proud team, if any of their members is victimized, the team will exact revenge. Their love towards the machine is deep, and many take care not to burden their cars by excessive customization. Bullcrap! There was a time when the team came close to being dispersed, but now they are once again appearing in top places in battles. Their Lancer-type machines are their trademarks. And none of these names you could put in a video game today. You couldn't do it. It just cause people to rage. But anyways, back out on the highways. We went through the teams, we went through all the bios. We're good to go. Alright, looks like a guy in an RX-7 here. Muscle programmer. Hey, maybe this is the guy who spent, you know, $999,000 of that $1 million. Maybe he's the one, you know? He's at least got a suitable car for highway racing. That guy with the freaking K car, man. Just love these buses through that section. You can see all the body roll, and you're like, man, you are wheeling it. And see, once again, there's my main gripe with this section. You see those arrows? You got one arrow going one way, you got another arrow going the different way. It's just confusing because you end up kind of getting in sections where, like, who's going to actually shoot out onto the highway in front of me for me to dominate? You know? Just stay single file, just line up, take your execution style race, and be done with it. So, on to the next victim here. Oh, we got a foot guy here. We got Gold Loser. Maybe he should have used some Gold Bond. And hey, at least he's driving a gold car as opposed to urine colored. I think the guy with the piss-colored MR2 was also driving an MR2. Well, of course, if he's driving a piss-colored MR2, he'd be driving an MR2, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like how you go down this road and all of a sudden it becomes like inconspicuously tighter. Like you go from like 4-lane highway with all the space in the world, and then all of a sudden it's like 2 lanes. On top of that, you got the sound barriers, just to make it feel even more claustrophobic. But that always becomes fun, especially when you get later on in the game and you're doing like 215 miles an hour on a regular basis. It's, you know, I got the need for speed. Next victim. Fascinating paint job is what that is. Definitely a way to get noticed. Alright, another First Lady, another MR2, another victory. So we all know what's coming here, and there ain't no way they're gonna stop it. I think this might bring out the team leader. I forgot to actually, you know, figure out, read the instructions, how many people there were per team. I was busy making fun of all these teams and their horrible backstories. But, yeah. A high level of win ratio. Right here. Team First Lady. That's funny. That's funny. But nope, apparently not. On to the next blue guy. Apparently this guy's having a little bit of trouble navigating the turns. Hey, there we go. That's a car I appreciate right there. Yes, I'm like one of apparently a group of weirdos who prefers the R33. I don't know what it is, but people don't seem to really appreciate the R33. You know, it's like the middle child of the group. You know, everybody goes goo 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 gaga over the R34. You know, and then of course the R32 is like, oh hey, you know, the GTR that put the GTR back on the GTR map. You know, I don't know. Maybe there's a reason. I mean, obviously living in America here, you know, you get the Skyline love, but at least until all the import Skylines are going to end up flooding the market. That's going to become a thing. Yeah, just get out of here. You're done. Oh! Okay, so apparently the $1 million that this team spent was divided amongst about 2.5 members. The guy with the RX-7, you know, he was slow too, but yeah, maybe he spent some money. The guy with the R33, he was relatively decently fast, and you gotta assume the team leader, you know, he's probably faster because that's, you know, kind of how it works in this game. No bus, but well, maybe not. Maybe I was just too conservative through the corners. I think I was too conservative through the corners. Yeah. If you spent $1 million, you might want to go ahead and get a refund because, yeah, you suck. You know what you really need? You need NOS. You need NOS. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and exit out. And I don't know why it's doing that, by the way, because I didn't change it in my emulator settings, so, yeah. But we unlocked the Nissan Cedric 300 VIP, which I just love how Japan has these goofy big boat mobiles that I'm guessing are probably like exclusive to Japan, because I certainly have never heard of a frickin' Nissan Cedric, but maybe they exported them to like Australia or whatever, because it's close and convenient. But yeah, like they build these like very American style cars and then don't sell them in America. Like, come on now. Hey, VIP project, Mr. Elite. He's so elite with his Mercedes. Look at how elite he is. He's so elite that he can drive a poop brown Mercedes and get away with it because he's elite. My 180 scoffs at your eliteness. Also, apparently that is like the slowest Mercedes SL500 around. At least I think it's an SL500. That's what it looked like it said on the back. I'm not good with my Mercedes model names, not gonna lie. But, I'm pretty sure anything from Mercedes that is a 500 that doesn't happen to be a G Series should be relatively decently quick. Certainly faster than what this guy's doing. Pedals on the right, that's the one that you're looking to use, not the one in the middle or the one on the left. Actually, given it's a Mercedes, it probably only has 2 pedals. On to the next victim. Oh, here's another woman hater, anti-woman. I think the developers of this game are expressing some rage, because there's that whole team that like is anti-woman. There's a guy named anti-woman. I think they just hate females. I don't know what's going on here, but something's going on here. Turn right. Remember, proper indication is key at all times, even during high-speed spirited driving on the highways, which is highly illegal. Still, use your turn signals. Need to get pulled over by a cop who's gonna arrest you because your turn signal's out. Hey. You know, actually, there's an interesting one. I'd love to hear from you guys if you happen to make it this far in this video. What is getting pulled over by a cop like in your country? I mean, I know how it works, you know, here in the United States. I've been pulled over once. Got 1 speeding ticket. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, in Japan, do they pull you over and just, like, you know, walk up to the car with license and registration and all that, you know, like license, registration, proof of insurance. But does it work the same? And another annoying thing about this, you can't defy the laws of physics. Like, so you're telling me I can just magically turn my car around 180 degrees, you know, when I'm racing at someone directly, going the wrong way on the highway. But, you know, someone who's on the other side of the highway, no, you can't. I don't know, for some reason it just seems like in Japan they would do things differently when you get pulled over. Or like in Dubai or whatever, you know? Well, heck, do they pull anyone over there? I mean, it seems like they got all the supercar police department thing going on there, just for shits and giggles, basically. I don't know. Do they actually use those for traffic enforcement? So here's our next victim. Looks like we got another first lady, and I think that does it. I think. I'm terrible at remembering things. My short-term memory is just garbage. Not gonna lie, I can remember things that happened like years upon years upon years upon years ago, but I can't remember what happened 30 seconds ago. That's me. Divider. Divider. It's again with the music. It's again with the music. Ah! A little sideways there. She's a little bit loose. Bit of oversteer on her. It's perfectly fine. Ah! That corner is like the most fun corner in the game, almost. Yeah, that's right up there with that right-hander in Tokyo, where you kind of go over the crest and just like launch. Fun corners are fun. Here's the final member of Team First Lady. Now remember, she's got a very high win ratio, and she's a provocative secretary. Giggity. Yeah. So provocative. Let's see here. She got a good start. She did get a good start. The bio did warn us about her good start. She did kind of go for a little bit of a block. Definitely not a very effective block. Hey, she is putting up much more of a challenge. We'll give her that. She's definitely sticking much closer than the rest of her team combined could have done. So that just goes to reassure you guys that the bios and the menus are indeed accurate, despite the horrible translation and the terrible grammar going on. But you know what that means? That means that one team really does actually rub their feet. Which, that's a thing, apparently. So let's flip a U-turn here. Oh, very nice, very nice. Except for that wall tap there. Just go ahead and spin around here. Flash the lights, flash the lights, flash the lights. Come on, race me. No. Here. Go home, bus. You're drunk. Got our Team VIP here. Let's get in with the Mercedes Frontier Resolution. How many people stick a friggin' roll bar? Like you got a roll cage to go highway racing in your Mercedes. None of this seems entirely appropriate. Crap, that's a draw. It's a draw. Is it? He hit the divider. Haha. He hit the divider. He hit the divider. But that whole setup, that, you know, it seems kind of stupid and pointless. I mean, oh man, he dead. He dead. He still hasn't moved. He's dead. Good thing he had a roll cage, right? Anyways, on to the next blue guy. Alright, here's Sport Newspaper Mania guy. He's a wanderer, so let's see if this actually goes off without a hitch. Which, if you start in Osaka, he's a good way to get your hands onto the Supra pretty quickly. Which is nice to have if that's a car you're looking at purchasing. Personally, I'm not. We already do have it available, though. It's just a bit too of a cliche car, you know? Sometimes you just got to go outside the, no pun intended, you got to just go a little bit outside the box, you know? Plus tap, full tap. So far, Sport Newspaper Mania guy, he's apparently the fastest guy on Osaka. I mean, let's be real here. And that music certainly is festive. Well, I think I am going to go ahead and take this section over here, the right-hander that comes up, go back to the pit area, and get a fresh reroll of opponents, keep the win combo going, and happy fun times, right? Alright, and we're back. So, our VIP member, Energy Blood. Energy Blood, yeah! Is that what happens when, like, you drink too many, like, you know, Red Bulls and Monster Energies and all that stuff? Like, you just literally get Energy Blood? Is that what that is? We'll do this race and chase cam, you know, for the giggles, to satisfy those of you guys out there who like the chase cam. For those of you guys who absolutely hate my mismatched paint job, just to sort of give you a subtle FU. Can't help it. Can't help it. Nice friendly trolling is nice friendly, right? I mean, let's be real. Someone's gonna rage about the fact that my car is two different colors, and it really affects absolutely nothing, other than it just gets them all worked up into a lather and just all like, rah! It's fun. It's fun, you know. This guy should be fun to race. Bottom floor. Again with the foot fetish. Again with the foot fetish. So let's go ahead and beat this guy down here. Driving the, what is it, the Nissan Pulsar Glanza 5 or whatever it is. Makes me think it like should be like an actual freaking rocket ship, more or less, even though it's slow as can be. Hopefully we'll get the pit area up here because I don't want to have to go back. And driving from the chase cam is so much more difficult. So much more difficult. You guys are all weirdos. You use the chase cam. Bunch of freaks. Using the chase cam. Like, what is that? What is that crap? How can people do that? I don't get it. I do not get it. There we go. We could just make this playthrough more exciting by having me driving the chase cam. Therefore, I'll be far more unlikely to just dominate every opponent in this game. So who is this guy? He's a Tenten Taku or Susakaku. So we're gonna go ahead and hop in the pit area, get a reroll of opponents, and just be done with it because we're kind of in a goofy section, and there was only one guy down there, and I don't want to race just one guy. I want to race multiple people because that way it keeps the things going, keeps the party moving. Plus, we'll run into them eventually, anyways. So it's all good. So fire rescue. Actually driving an appropriately colored car, you know, bright red. You know, it's It's one of those fire marshal cars, you know, the guy who drives around doing all the inspections and everything like that. You know, that's what he's driving. He just happens to go illegal street racing at night, you know, because fire safety takes no breaks, right, guys? He's inspecting to make sure everybody's wearing their fireproof suits and everything, just in case. Yeah, that's one thing that sucks about the first 3 areas here, and hopefully some of you guys like understand this, and hopefully I've made this clear in the commentary, but like when you go through the first section of the game here, before you can freely move around between the 3 different cities, the problem is that the opponents end up making no challenge at all, because these opponents that I'm facing right now are basically the opponents that you'll be facing in the first city of the game, in theory. You can easily start here in Osaka, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mystery Maze, WRX-STI. But you can start in this section, so the opponents are basically scaled down to that level as if this is your first section of racing, you know, when you're driving basically a stock car. And I'm pretty sure there is a bit of, you know, AI performance adjustment, but it's not... You're not racing top-tier opponents at the beginning of the game, regardless. Because the game kind of has to scale down in case you do happen to start in this city, so that's why it's, you know, basically no challenge at all. So once we do complete Osaka here, things should get a bit more exciting, hopefully. And plus, by then you start driving, you know, faster and faster cars, and you know, everything's more exciting when you're doing like 200 miles an hour through traffic, especially in some of those 2-lane highways here in Osaka and Nagoya. You got those divider thing, or the sound barrier things. Those are always fun. All right, here's this guy with a piece of junk Z, Lucky Cum Cum. Foot fetish. Yeah. Yep. I know what some of you guys are thinking. And yep. That's all that needs to be said there. Of course, once again, all the opponents are driving the total freaking wrong away from me. It'll signal to the right. Nice wall ride there, dude. Very nice wall ride. You know, I try not to wall ride very often. You know, obviously sometimes it's totally well within the rules of the game. It is the way you should be playing it, because otherwise you can just get destroyed sometimes. But I don't know, sometimes you just gotta drive a little bit properly, save your SP, get your, you know, extra, you know, $30 credit bonus, you know, for not smashing into things. I don't know, you know, honor system, right? On to the next guy. Alright, looks like another VIP member, Safety Tracker. And I just love how the graphics in this game are so amazingly advanced. Like, the car is just like a blob of blobness, but the headlights and everything are all like perfectly chiseled out and everything. Just like, yeah. It's funny how that works. Not a lot of texture memory available on a PS2, that's for sure. There's another VIP member there that we just passed. So we need to come back and mop him up. Destroy this guy here quickly, turn around, get him, and maybe make it to the pit area at the bottom right of the map to get a reroll. And that frickin' post-race menu thing, I don't know what is going on there. I don't know how I managed to do that so conveniently, but hey, that worked. Ah! Don't worry, folks, don't try and avoid me. I'm just driving the wrong way. Just carry on about your day. Ow! 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 Oh, I guess so much for that pit area, right? Pride of Speed. This is a solid name. Not necessarily the most exciting. Certainly no Silent Eagle. But not bad. There's worse. Oh boy, those tires are getting hosed. And of course, the blue guy decides he's gonna just run away because he doesn't want his beating. I don't blame him. It must suck to go street racing and get absolutely destroyed. You know, driving your $50,000, freaking land yacht thing. Or if you're driving a Mercedes, you know, probably significantly more. Well, so much for that anyways. Because of course, Project VIP guy, you know, he drives a friggin' Lexus. Like, really? Like, you got team members driving, you know, frickin', you know, Mercedes, and then you put the team leader in a Lexus. I mean, not to say that Lexus is bad. I mean, I think if you're looking for a certain type of car, you know, I mean, Lexus is perfectly fine. I mean, it's a fancy Toyota. I mean, you can't go wrong with, like, a fancy Toyota, you know. You know what you're getting. You're getting beige, but, you know, sometimes people want beige. But, come on! You put the team leader in that? Lame. 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 Whoosh! I actually was not ready for that. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot all about that, but hey, that's convenient. The non-stop hero coming to save his buddy who was busy getting wrecked. Of course, he does drive a Mercedes. Yes, just go ahead and run into one another, and I'll just... Don't mind me, guys. Don't mind me. Just over here doing my thing. Just doing my thing, passing big fat cars. Woo, buddy! These tires are gone. Tires are gone. It's so floaty. Looks like the non-stop hero isn't gonna come to save this one. I don't know why he bailed his buddy out. I mean, you are a minor inconvenience. You are not the non-stop hero. You are a minor inconvenience guy. So change your name. I gotta turn around, get back to the pit area, even though my tires are totally shot. Oh yeah, getting that wheel spin in second gear. Oh yeah. So rejoin you guys for the next race. Alright, and when I did go to the pit area, I made a note of the rival list. And we have 2 more teams left. We got Drifters and Tenten Taku, or Setsu Kaku, or whatever the heck their name is. And then Team No Loser, which is the boss team here in Osaka. No! I don't know how that one was saved right there, because these tires are just poop. These tires are just P-O-O-P, to say the least. These things are just absolute junk at this point. Unfortunately, you can't replace them. We're gonna soldier on anyways, because I mean, these guys are easy enough right now that that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So on the blue arrow. Alright, we got Foolish Soul with a beautiful seafoam green RX-7. That's actually not a color I'd paint like any car ever, but that actually works. It's actually a very nice color on that car. Just saying, just saying. It's like driving on ice. It is like driving on ice. There's no grip. No grip at all. Unfortunately, you really don't need grip to drive in a straight line. You know, it's only the twisty bits where you need the grip. That bus just saved me from the divider. So thank you, bus. Sorry if I scratched your paint. And Team No Loser has arrived. All driving their not so heavily customized Lancer Evolutions. They just all have camouflage paint jobs, which you would think I'd be into that thing, but no. So I think that's going to do it for this night of racing, because these tires are garbage. Oh man, we lost our good name. Did get new clutch parts, and we did get an MRS Japanese name, S Edition. Which everybody loves that car. I mean, we went from Silent Eagle to Wild Shark. Like, game, you suck. Why you do that? Just wanted to be Silent Eagle forever, man.